What's going on, y'all? This is McKay back again with Harmony Reptiles, and today we're going to be talking about what's it like to own a boa constrictor, pros and cons, things of that nature. Before we jump into this, I want to go ahead and apologize for my daughter. She's outside on the back porch playing with my wife right now, so if you hear her, just try to ignore it. But yeah, from the jump, man, I want to go ahead and say that it was damn near impossible for me to try to think of anything negative to say about these animals. My experience with them has been nothing short of fulfilling and exciting. So yeah, I love boa constrictors, and you can't go wrong. If you're thinking about getting one, get one. But let's try to jump into something that might be a con for some people. Obviously, this is not a little snake, right? This is a snake that would strike fear into the majority of people, and she is nowhere near done growing, man. She's about 3 years old, and boa constrictors typically their growth rate slows down a lot once they get around like 10 years old. On average, they'll reach up to about 6 to 8 feet, but you do have those exceptions where they get over 10, 10 to 12 feet. And for me, that's something that I want for all of my snakes. You know what I'm saying? Again, it depends on the person. I love big snakes, but that might be a problem for a lot of people. So if you're worried about a snake getting big, boa constrictors might not be the snake for you. Cons. With that being said, man, the bigger the snake, the bigger the food, which is going to be more pricey, as well as their housing, right? Their enclosures. Enclosures ain't cheap, man. I definitely am about to transition all of my snakes into PVC enclosures, something more aesthetically pleasing, something that's just more efficient, looks better. And all my snakes deserve it. I want to give them the best of the best. But if you're trying to, I guess, stay on a budget, or you just want to go ahead and get your snake, and you don't really have the means to go and spend $1,000 or $500 to $1,000 on the enclosure, a plastic tub it'll do the job. It works just as good. PVC is just a little bit better, in my opinion. And with that being said, man, price, right? If something like that is something that you're worried about, then not to be rude, but you should probably not jump into getting a big snake or a boa constrictor. You should wait until you got your affairs in order. So, something like that doesn't catch you off guard. Just be completely ready for when you get your boa, because you don't want to, have them lacking in any way. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. I think that's really it for cons. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I can jump into this, right? And I've mentioned it before, the temperament of boas, right? People have this preconceived notion that boas are these aggressive creatures. They're big and mean, but I mean, y'all been sitting here watching me for almost 4 minutes now, and have you seen any signs of aggression? No, you haven't. Amazingly, it's only because I handle my snake. That's all it is, man. It's just socialization. You want to get your snake used to human touch. On that note, man, it's bare minimum, man. You should definitely be doing more than this, but bare minimum, you should be taking your snakes out at least once a week to socialize them. Typically, I try to do like 2 to 3 times a week, but bare minimum 1 time. Now, baby boas, right? And before I jump into this, man, you have to put yourself in the snake's predicament. If you are a newborn creature into this world, about yay size, and all you have, you ain't got no legs, you ain't got no arms, all you got is a mouth. You're just a little worm with a mouth trying to defend yourself. And there's some gigantic creature, 6 feet tall, or however tall you are, standing over the top of you and picking you up and holding you and trying to do all this stuff with you. You would be scared too, probably. In your mind, you're probably thinking that you're about to be food. Like, this human is about to eat me. That's all that's going on with the baby boas, man. So you can't blame them. It's just socialization. You have to get them used to the human touch. And slowly but surely, they'll get used to it. You know, you don't want your snake to get 10, 12 foot long and they're not used to being touched by a human, because obviously that would be a recipe for disaster. There's plenty of videos on, you know, on YouTube of what would happen if one of these, just gave me a little kiss, if one of these got a hold to you. It's not pretty. But this girl here has never shown me any signs of aggression. She's never hissed at me. She's never struck at me. And it's all because I spend time with her. So there's that. I mentioned earlier that for every con, depending on the person that you are, you can look at it as a pro, man. The size of these snakes, right? I love gigantic snakes. I love big snakes, man. I don't like small, well, let me not say I don't like small snakes, man. I don't care to own small snakes. All snakes are beautiful. They're all nice to look at, but I wanted something to where, you know, when I have company over or something like that, I take my snake out and I'll wow them. You know what I'm saying? Something impressive to look at. I wanted a snake that whenever I go to take it out and play with it, I'm floored, you know what I'm saying? I'm impressed with the size and the beauty of the snake, you know what I'm saying? And they don't get, boas are not giant snakes, you know what I'm saying? They're not Burmese pythons, they're not reticulated pythons, and also they're not, I feel like they're the perfect size snake. They're not giants like the ones I just mentioned, and they're also not your corn snake or your king snake, you know what I'm saying? They're the perfect size snake, in my opinion. Something else that I love about them, you've seen throughout the course of this video, the snake has not stopped moving. They are always on the move. They're exciting to hold, you know what I'm saying? Exciting to play with. There's a lot of snakes out there, man. I ain't even gonna say the name. I don't want to name drop or diss because they're beautiful too, you know. All snakes ain't for everybody, but you know, you got some snakes that are just, they don't do nothing. You take them out, they call them lap snakes. You can just sit them in your lap, they'll sit still and they don't do anything. I didn't want that in a snake. I wanted something that I could take out and it's just gonna entertain me, you know what I'm saying? And a boa constrictor is definitely that snake. Let's see. I think that's it, y'all, man. I think that's it. I'm gonna show her off. Another thing too, they are strong, very strong. They'll squeeze you to death, but again, depending on the person, man, that's something that I like. I like that. It's exciting for me. I'm not gonna hold y'all too much longer, man. If you enjoyed this content, give me a like. If there's anything you want to hear or see me do, drop it in the comments and I'll try my best to get around and making a video about it. And if you really enjoyed this content, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, man, love you, boas. Take care of you, boas. Peace.